Alright, trying out the new Meta glasses here. Changing the water separating fuel filter on the Mercury 400 V10 Verado. Should be the same filter number for the 350 all the way up to the 425. It is, and of course it's the V10 version, not the V6. Part number is 35 8M0157616. See, mine's here. It's easily accessible on the back. I already unplugged the sensor, so it's going to be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. All you're going to do is unscrew this, and you're going to have a little fuel come out, so don't be surprised whenever you get it loose if you got some leaking out and they're on pretty tight. Let's see here. Try to do this without denting my filter. I like using this one with the rubber band. That way I don't damage the filter getting it off, just in case something happens to where we run into a problem here. Just gotta take her a little time until she gets loose. You want to make sure and oil these O-rings up whenever you put a new one on. That way you don't ever have one get seized on there. I like to change my filters depends on how much you run or how much you let it set. In my opinion, if you change them once a season, depending on how many hours you put on your boat, it's cheap maintenance, because the cost of these motors aren't cheap to work on. Parts aren't cheap, so in my opinion, 30 bucks for a filter is a drop in the hat compared to if you have a major fuel line problem or a clog. And plus it's worth the peace of mind if you're way out on the lake and you're broke down, you don't have somebody having to pull you in and all that good stuff. You got the filter off, and we'll be right back. Alright, after you get the filter off, I like to pour mine into a container, give it time to set. That way you can see if you actually had any water or debris in there. You don't have to do that, but ideally don't use a water bottle like I did, because there's going to be some water residue in there. After you get the filter off, what you're going to do is you're going to peel this dude back. I like to just kind of fold it over here, and then you're going to unscrew your sensor, which your new filter is going to come with a new O-ring for your sensor, and you want to make sure and you replace that, because any type of air leak is going to cause you some problems. So you want to make sure. So same thing on this, and this is a plastic piece that screws in the bottom. You'll see once I get it off here. It's about 1 inch long. It goes up into the filter itself. So you'll get this dude unscrewed. Looks like that. See that little red O-ring on there? You're going to want to replace that with the one that they provide with the new filter. So got that off. You no longer need this filter. If you buy Mercury certified parts, they're gonna have the new O-ring already pre-lubed for you. It'll have a little bit of grease or oil or whatever they use. But when you do get the new filter, it will have a plug in the bottom. To get this plug off, you want to get this, it's the very tip piece. You don't want to grab the piece above that, because that's what that plastic cap, it's got these little ridges in there, and that's what that sits in. So you're going to take this out, and this is just a plug to keep debris from getting in there from the factory. Here's your new O-ring. So on your part, you're going to take this O-ring off of the old one, slide your new one on there. Alright, got our new O-ring on our sensor. At this point, I'm just going to put it back up in there, thread it right back on, exactly the way we took it off. And the main thing on this is you want it tight, but you don't want to over tighten it to where you're going to strip out your threads, because again, this is a plastic insert. I'm not real sure why they did plastic. Probably something to do with corrosion, that way it don't get stuck. But you want it snug, but you don't want to over tighten it. So we're going to use the old German method, just good and tight. Feels good to me right there. So you got this little plastic piece up in here that slides into those grooves, and you'll feel it kind of click. It just sits on there. You slide it around till you find the spot right there. And once you get it the way you want it, which I haven't exactly got it the way I want it yet. Let's see here. Let me peel this back a little further so I can see what's going on. So you got little ears. Make sure they line up here. Everything works better when you're not videoing, of course. Alright, so it is on there. As good as it's going to go. You're going to slide this back on there. Basically, wrap that right down around it like so. And it'll look like that. Alright, we are back at the back of the boat again. Main thing too, when you take your old filter off, make sure the O-ring comes off with it. That way you don't have a double O-ring situation, and that will cause an air leak or a fuel leak. We're going to put her right back on there, righty-tighty. Spin it up on here. I always get it hand tight. And then for a little extra insurance, I like to take the filter wrench, give it another, I don't know, half to 3/4 turn, just to make sure it's good and snug. Right there, feels good. You don't want to get it tight enough to where you're denting in the filter trying to get it back on. Don't forget to plug in your sensor. That way it does send you an alarm. It's supposed to tell you if it senses any water, or debris, or anything like that in your fuel. The lighting in here is not the best. So. Alright, got it clicked on there. And she should be good to go. Next we're going to turn the key on and off. We're going to prime it up a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do, put the keys in. I got the batteries on. I'm not going to start it. Basically just going to, same concept as in your car or truck if you do anything with your fuel pump. Just going to turn it on. You're going to let this dude pump it up. So you should not have any leaks at all. You're going to turn this key on and off a few different times. Check for leaks. Make sure it fills up that new filter. So you can just do this 2 or 3 times, and then whenever you do go to put it out on the water for the first time after changing these, I would recommend just letting it idle a pretty good little bit. Run at low speeds. Make sure you don't have any air in the lines. That way you don't get up on plane and it bog down on you and all that good stuff. So I heard my fuel pump kick on and off. So like I said, do this 4 or 5 times, however many times you want to do it. Alright, got the boat on. We're just going to fire her up and let her idle. Going back here, we're going to check for leaks. Everything looks good. Alright, got her on the water. Do a little test and tune. See what she's gonna do for us. See how these Ray-Bans work here. It's a beautiful day. Wife's at work, mad because she's not on the lake. And I don't blame her. Hopefully my truck will be alright right there for a minute. See if I can't make some fishermen mad real quick. My motor's wanting to bog out at about 5,500, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shut it off and I'm gonna let it prime again real quick. Alright, now she's running good. 70 mile an hour on a floating couch ain't too bad.